Now, the one that we really care about, UFC 280 just got announced to be Abu Dhabi's pay-per-view event. The UFC lightweight title will be given an owner since it's vacant right now.
Yeah, true.
As Charles Oliveira, the number one contender.
Yeah.
All right, Charles Oliveira, the champion,
Champion.
looks to
Yeah.
defend once again against maybe his toughest test to date, Islam Makhachev. I said
Yeah.
his name weird. Makhachev.
Yeah.
October 22nd, UFC 280. Dominic, this has got to be probably one of the biggest fights for the last half of the year.
This is big, right? That's exactly what I thought. It was so interesting on the broadcast. Again, this was all on ABC, by the way. They announced Charles as the ESPY award winner for Fighter of the Year,
That
by
was
the
done
way.
very weird, by the way. That was such a weird announcement. Like,
Well, it made more sense once they
Yeah.
literally transitioned straight
Yeah.
into this fight announcement. And man, this just has a big fight feel. It really, really does. I mean, we've seen what Charles has been doing lately, the streak that he's on, all the drama in his last fight, and he puts all that to the wayside and still goes out there and does what he does to Justin Gaethje. Then he had the promotion about himself. The champion has a name, yada yada yada. It was so sick, his story. And then you have Islam Makhachev, a guy that no one wants to fight, 10 or 11 fights in a row that he's won. But shout out Brendan Fitzgerald made a good point that I didn't realize on Twitter yesterday. And it's not a knock on Islam, but it was just a fact that I didn't really come into play until now. He does not have a win over a current top 10 lightweight, which is very, very fascinating to think about. But we know the talent's there. We know the skill set's there. This fight is so amazing on paper. It checks every single box you could want as a fight fan in Abu Dhabi. The UFC's return there. It's going to be huge, I would imagine, as a card as a whole. But yeah, man, I know this isn't Habib, right? It's his protege. It's not a Connor. It's not an Nate Diaz. This is a big a fight feel that you can have without a pay-per-view machine like those names I just mentioned. This just feels so big to me as a fan. I'm so excited.
yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm sure I would have been very excited if Volkanovski was put in this
Yeah.
position too, as my conspiracy theory that fizzled out very quickly.
Do you think, though, that hand injury kind of like
I think that just made
really
I think
solidified
that
it?
I'm not saying that they would have went with Volkanovski
Right.
without it, but I think it made the decision very easy at that
Yeah.
point. That's what I think. But I feel like they probably, at least some people in the UFC brass, maybe not Dana because he had been wanting Islam and Beneil.
Yeah.
But I feel like a lot of guys in the UFC have probably this has been the fight they've been targeting for an Abu Dhabi pay-per-view, I'm sure. This was like the easiest fight to predict all year. It was almost too easy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like to the point where we're like second guessing because it's like, well, there's no, like, because Dana's saying things and we're like, but Islam literally called for that Abu Dhabi card. Like he knew there was an Abu Dhabi pay-per-view before we did.
Or the UFC did.
So like you kind of just knew that they really were going to push for him to be on this card, and UFC has such a good relationship with Abu Dhabi. You figured that this was the fight that would be there. It's a huge fight, and if you look at what the two bring to the table, I actually like Brendan Fitzgerald. It's a very interesting fact, but you'd be surprised at how many fighters are in the same boat that don't.
Oh
have
yeah,
a
I
win
couldn't
over.
imagine.
And I think why I don't think that stat means a whole lot because it should be more about what they're ranked when you beat them.
Right.
Because like Dan Hooker's since then fell out of the top 10.
Yes.
But he was a top 10 fighter when Islam beat him. But interesting enough, that is the best win on his resume to date.
True.
Like he hasn't beat anybody ranked above 7th, 8th, or whatever that Dan Hooker was.
And really, though, probably the one that's even aged the best, regardless of where they were at the time, is Arman Saryukin too. And that was a close fight, I guess. To be fair,
it was closer, but it was also when they were quite a bit younger.
Yeah,
it's the equivalent of when Usman beat Edwards the first time. Like,
oh, perfect.
Not sure it would mean a whole lot now, but it does. It is something for the resume, right?
Yeah,
like it says something. I'm fine with Islam getting the title fight. Like I'm not there are some people that think like, he should have had to get that clear when, look, he was in position to fight RDA. It didn't happen. He was supposed to fight Beneil.
Yeah.
Beneil had to drop out. He took Bobby Green on short notice, made quick work of him. Look, everybody thinks he's the next title holder. Everybody wants to say, that's all everybody says, is that he will be the champion by the end of the year, that he's the next lightweight champion. Well, now it's his time to prove it.
Here you go.
And do not think that this is going to come easy, because Charles Oliveira is fighting like one of the best fighters in the entire company. Yeah. And even if he gets pummeled for a round and a half, don't think Charles won't come back and beat that ass in rounds 3, 4, 5, whatever it might take.
Yeah.
This fight's just amazing. It's really going to answer a lot of questions about what we have with Islam Makhachev, because I was a little late to the table on Islam, like as far as really believing in him as like a title holder. Like I just needed to see him fight higher level opponents to show that, the Thiago Moises, the Drew Dobers. Those were the wins that kind of finally got me on board with him. But even then, I still am not like, I don't think it's a given that he's winning this fight. I think some people really look at him as like, he's literally Habib. I think that's what some people look at with Islam. And because of that, I think the expectation here is win or bust.
Yeah, and it almost feels unfair to him. A little bit.
It is. But I do think he welcomes it. I mean,
he does.
Yeah.
He definitely does, and he has embraced those expectations. And again, as Noah said, you can't look at this fight, and even opening odds, he's like minus 225 or something. I would imagine that they may, I don't know, they may shrink down. But that was what his opening app in a lot of books.
What was it?
Like he was like minus 225, 230. So Charles was coming back. Yeah, Charles was coming back at plus 200, 2-1 dog.
Wow.
We might have to jump on that really early for our bet wise. But anyway, you can't look at Charles' most recent fights and tell me that he's out of any fight, because what has he done in every one of them? He gets 10-8'd, knocked down, looks like he's going to get put to sleep, and then comes back and not just wins, destroys the people that he's fighting. So it's this fight shivers down my spine.